Good morning and welcome back to the channel. This is Tiffany at Dynamite-Acres. And today what I'm doing is I'm taking my seedlings out of the indoor nursery where they're under the grow lights. I'm going to be putting them into cups so that they can start hardening off, which means they need to go outside and get used to the cold weather. So they will go outside for about a week during the day and come back in at night, and then I will be planting them in the garden. So I use all natural fertilizers. These are questionable eggs that I don't need for my animal diets. So what I'm going to be doing is separating the egg into yolk, egg white, and then the shell. Let's get started. So really all I want for my plants is the shell, but I don't want to waste the rest of the egg. So I'm going to use the shell here, and we're going to try to separate that egg yolk away from the white. And we are going to have 3 projects going. The egg whites are going to be turned into meringue and angel food cake today. The yolks are going to be used to tan some rabbit hides. So all parts of the egg are going to be used, even though they're surplus eggs that maybe have a little bit of crack in them. Something that is is too small to be sold, or maybe it's really big. But we're going to make sure we use these eggs. Any of them that are super questionable, maybe they look like they have dirt in them, that they'll go in the chicken bucket and they'll get fed to the chickens. Well, I'm going to do this for a while. I'm going to fill up my bowls and then I'll check back in with you. So I start my seeds in these egg crates. I like these egg crates because when you water them, the egg carton itself gets really wet and then it holds that moisture and you don't have to water your seedlings quite as much. So I have these trays underneath a grow light in our house on a shelf. I mark them with these cards. So this card tells me that I planted this one in the front, the first 2 rows, and that's what it is. And so that I can keep track of what my plants are. So I have my eggshells in my mortar and pestle here, and I also have some coffee grounds. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically make an organic compound, so basically kind of like a little miracle grow that's going to be helping our plants. Inside the cup, which I've marked with what type of plant it is, I have soil from my garden. I know lots of gardeners don't use the soil from their garden, but I do. I compost my manure and hay from my animals, so this is extremely rich soil. It has lots of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, everything that our plant needs. But we are going to put a little hole in the middle, a little indentation, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put the plant in there, and then I'm going to put a little bit of this miracle grow stuff around it, and then put dirt on top. All right, so we have our eggshells and coffee grounds ready, and we have our cup ready. We're going to go ahead and get our plant and get it in there. All right, so we have the little plant in here. We'll call him Billy Bob. We got Billy Bob in here, and we're going to put a little bit of this compost or this eggshell coffee grounds around it. A pinch is good. And then we're going to be putting dirt on top of him. Now, the reason why I use these eggshells and coffee grounds, there's lots of reasons, but one of the main reasons is that they really deter slugs and snails and even the cutworms, which are often a problem when you have young plants because you're watering them a lot, so they're very wet. This will deter those pests. I love it because it's organic. There's very little to no chemicals in it. It's used coffee grounds, so there's not very much or any caffeine in it. My pH level of my garden soil is currently running at about 6, so it's a little on the acidic side. The pH level of our eggshells is about 6.8, and the coffee grounds is running at about 6.9. So by adding these in, we're going to be allowing this little plant to be living in a slightly acidic but mostly neutral environment. So then it's going to be able to thrive quickly. It also has all that organic matter from the eggs and the coffee grounds in addition to the great soil that it's in. So this little guy should thrive pretty quick. I expect about a 48-hour, slow down on his growth as we start putting him outside and you start getting used to the colder weather. But I think that we're going to end up with a great crop of strong, healthy squash. All right, there he is. There's our little squash plant. With the coffee grounds in there also, they will also retain the water And so then that way we won't have to water them quite as much. He's ready to go. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.